A mother cradling her baby, one twin already gone, and the other barely breathing. This is the reality that's happening in the Myanmar earthquake. The purpose of our speech today is to persuade and convince you that to support UNICEF's emergency relief efforts through volunteering and donations. After listening to our speech, you will agree that UNICEF is the most impactful organization and everyone should consider either supporting or donating to it. As a former president of UNICEF, I've closely worked with people globally and nationally to provide children and their family with any and all resources they need to have a safe life. California is known for its earthquakes. Just last year alone, we have had almost 5,143 earthquakes, and last month, 649. Earthquakes directly affects every single person who's living in this room. And so who better to understand the devastating impacts that it caused in Myanmar than us? And this is why everyone should support UNICEF. Before we start our speech, we will be covering three main points. First is we will be covering how children in Myanmar were affected by the earthquake. Two, we will talk about what UNICEF is currently doing to help those children and families. And three, we will explain the downside of not supporting UNICEF. Now that you've known what UNICEF is and what it does and how it matters to you, I'll pass it on to Kieran to talk about the devastating impacts that it has caused in Myanmar.
On March 28th, a massive 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit Mandalay, Myanmar's second largest city. In a country already torn apart by civil war, genocide, and in a humanitarian crisis, the earthquake made things much worse. Villages, homes, schools, and hospitals were flattened, roads were destroyed, and emergency workers and supplies could not reach the people who were most heavily affected. Thousands of families have been displaced, and these families are now facing extreme heat, torrential rain with no shelter. These conditions have caused diseases like cholera, malaria, and dengue to spread fast. Julia Reese, UNICEF's deputy representative in Myanmar, met with a mother shortly after the earthquake. She had just given birth to premature twins. Tragically, one of them died during the earthquake. The other did survive, but can no longer open her eyes, and the mother has nowhere to go for any help. This isn't just one tragedy, it's a national emergency. The UN reports that 20 million people needed help before the earthquake. Now 6.3 million people are in urgent need of help after it. The UN also reports that 3,800 people were killed and 55,000 homes were destroyed. The people who are most affected are children. Moses Sichawo, UNICEF's Myanmar Chief of Supply, said, "We've seen children sleeping outside. They don't have clean water, they don't have medical items because they've lost their homes." UNICEF reports that 1 in 3 people who've been displaced are children. And in a tragic moment, a preschool collapsed during the earthquake, killing 12 children and their teachers, the BBC reports. Now that I've told you the problems, Galileo will tell you the solutions.
So how you guys have heard, Myanmar had an earthquake and a lot of people lost their homes. Well, actually we have a solution. They have a solution right now. UNICEF is actually an organization that right now it's helping Myanmar on supplying them with food, medical assistance, and hygiene kits.